Hey, you joined me on a Sunday long run, and I'm going to try and do, well, a half marathon. Working on a few things today, because although my Adidas shoes have been giving me grief, I actually think my knees hurt because of my cadence. So I'm working on better turnover of my feet. I'm gonna try and fuel properly, so at different points along the run make sure I take in nutrition, and yeah, working on pace at the same time, which I'm already finding a bit difficult with upping my cadence but lowering my pace. But as long as I keep being conscious of it, I do feel I'm already feeling the benefit of it. Plus I'm wearing different shoes today. I brought my On shoes out of retirement, and already they feel so much better. Oh, I can already feel that my left foot, it just feels more natural. So yeah, loving it so far. We'll see how much all of that goes out the window once I'm a few more miles in, but so far so good. Just over 3 miles done, about 30 minutes as well, so nice and slow. I could probably go a bit slower in fairness, but just taking on my first gel. It really feels alien taking on fuel this early for me, but I guess taking a little and often is the name of the game, and I'll just get used to it, I suppose. I've probably watched far too many police shows, traffic cops, anything like that, but you know how when the baddies, the robbers, realise they're being chased, and they start discarding of any evidence, usually drugs, but sometimes they chuck out things that they've robbed so that the police can't, well, hopefully can't find it. And since watching all those programs for years, the amount of times I'm running along a country road with like grass verges and whatnot, I'm constantly thinking I'm gonna hit the jackpot. I'm gonna find an iPhone, a brand new iPad, anything like that, some sort of treasure. And obviously it's never happened, but I live in hope every time I'm in these situations. It's the same on the bike. Yeah, let me know if you're the same. I highly doubt it, but one day I will find something really cool. Done. I'm feeling surprisingly good. Taking the speed down, working on the cadence, and I guess fueling correctly. Seems to be working so far. I might eat my words later on into the run because I'm still not halfway, but so far so good, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, could be a new me. Hour and a half in, just done 9 miles, and just taking on my third gel. I feel like I needed it then, so but yeah, it feels like the schedule's going well, and yeah, Only 4 miles to go now. Admittedly, I think about 3 of them are uphill. So I don't know why my glasses are bouncing about, but yeah, let's get it. Mile 10 done, just over 5k to go. 1 park run at easy pace. Admittedly, there's a couple of hills I've got to conquer, but yeah, I'm feeling good. Don't know what happened to my voice then, but feeling good, very, very good. Something I've been really impressed with on this run is how well I've kept my head, kept my mental health in check. I felt good the whole time, but I strongly think the way I've kept my mental health in check has been a massive contribution to this, because that's my biggest hurdle, is when my head tells me to stop, I'm like, well, better stop. And I think that's the same for a lot of people. But slowing it down, not letting the heart rate spike, and going into it with a good mind frame, well, it's steered me well. And yeah, I'm on the home straight now. I'm pretty pleased with my efforts. Well, there we have it. I'm on my walk back now. But yeah, just completed my first ever half marathon non-stop. I mean, I've finished races and whatnot, but everyone so far I've got to a point where I've needed a little walk to get my heart rate back down. But yeah, that one was non-stop. I mean, occasionally I had to slow down for some cars and cross roads and whatnot, but absolutely buzzing off that one. So good. And now I'm on just my walk back to the house, and seem to be walking up a river. Well, what a difference a week makes. Last Sunday I was over the moon with my performance, and stoked that I'd run that half marathon for my long run. And then for the rest of the week, wow, I've had no motivation to get out. None at all. I've done 1 treadmill run, and yeah, I'm out now, but I really had to force myself to get out. I mean, as usual, I already feel better. It's just for getting out. But yeah, I think I'm going to go through the reasons why I've not gone out and why I've not had the motivation, because I think it's an interesting topic for me to go through, and I bet a lot of you can relate. So yeah, join me on this one and I'll try and explain all. I think the first reason is an obvious one. The weather's been a bit jank this week, hasn't it? Oh blimey, rain after rain after rain, and cold. I mean, the weekend started cold, so that's a huge factor, I think, in a lot of people's runs and motivation to get out. It's a big hurdle to get over most of the time, but I usually manage it. So I think that, on top of a bit of a lower mood this week, has caused, well, has made it harder for me to get out, really. So that's reason number 1. So the second factor, and I think probably the biggest one contributing to how I felt this week, is I'm a man of routine. I need routine in my life just to keep me on the straight and narrow with my mental health, keep me feeling positive, keeping me caring for myself, really. And this week's been a bit tough because that routine that I usually stick to has been taken out of my hands. It's been out of my control. I couldn't do anything about it. The pool's been closed, and looks like it's going to be closed for the foreseeable future, so I haven't been able to swim. I was asked to go into the office on a Tuesday rather than a Monday. Our little cat Storm, she's been spayed this week, so when we've gone to pick her up from the vets, that's when I'd normally go out for a run. So it's all been taken out of my hands a little bit, but it has affected me quite considerably. I've been a bit of a negative Nancy, I guess is the best way to put it, the most polite way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, I have done stuff. I have got out. I went and did what I've called, well, I think a lot of what people call it is a treadmill session. So I did 6 miles on the treadmill, which is never fun, but I have been active, so that's been good. But I've not been fueling myself well. I've gone for takeaways rather than the healthier diet I'm used to, so I'm going to feel lethargic from that. But not to be too down on myself. As I said, I have got out and I've done stuff. It's just been a little bit more difficult this week doing so because my whole week's been put off kilter and I've not necessarily been as positive as I could have been about it, not as proactive as I could have been about it. I could have read the situation sooner and done something more about it, gone and find another pool to swim in or go out for more runs instead. But that's not to put a downer on things, really, because I've noticed it and I'm making a change. I've come out today. I really didn't feel like coming out today, but I come out today and I'm doing a bit of a shakeout run just to see how I feel, and I do feel better. So yeah, onwards and upwards. These hurdles quite often come in my life, quite often come in everyone's life, so they're just something to get over, and I'll get over it. I've got over it 1,000 times before, so yeah, I'm gonna get back running now. That's mile 3 done, and that puts us nicely into reason number 3. Well, I've been feeling a bit crap this week, and I think it's a direct result of how good Sunday's run was. I brought some shoes out of retirement, my old Ons, just to see if they felt better than the Adidas that has been giving me so much grief. And yeah, I mean, as you know, I did a half marathon, so they felt good. But I think because I've been used to the Adidas for so long, it's just put my my whole leg out of whack a little bit. I think I've done myself a bit of a mischief on one of my legs, and then that wasn't helped on the treadmill on Wednesday because I got the new shoes and I'd done them up too tight. I was trying them with my orthotics, and I think, yeah, the tightness caused a bit of bruising around my feet. So I've woken up this morning kind of feeling like I've sprained my ankle again, and I don't know if you've seen my earlier videos, but I have mentioned that I've got glass ankles from some football injuries. So I'm always a bit careful when I get a little bit of a niggle like that. But I think I've isolated it down to the fact that I did half marathon distance on my long run. Probably didn't stretch as much as I should because, well, I don't think I ever really stretch as much as I should. But yeah, so I felt like it's been a bit tender today. But as I said, I've done a bit of stretching, and I'm just doing this slow little plod just to shake everything out, and I'll do some more stretching tonight and we should be all right. But yeah, I think that's number 3 on the reason why this week's been a bit of a struggle. But as I've said, onwards and upwards, things can only get better. As I mentioned, I've got a new pair of shoes on, the Adidas Takumi Sen 8. Everyone's been raving about them, so I thought I'd give them a go. But I've been running for a number of years now, and I've only ever really worn cushioned shoes good for longer runs and whatnot. So these are a brand new thing for me. A speed shoe, something that gives a little bit back, and I'm still not sure how I feel about them. The only run prior to today's was done on a treadmill, so I don't think that really counts. But yeah, what are your thoughts on them? I fully understand that they're not meant to feel super comfy. There is a purpose to them. They are for speed. But yeah, because I've not had any before, I'm not really sure how they're meant to feel. A few of my friends have said, yeah, they're not the comfiest of shoes, so I went in fully expecting that. But yeah, let me know down below what your thoughts are, and if you've got a pair, what pair you've got, or if you're like me prior to these, just prefer wearing a comfy pair of shoes to trot along the pavements with. But yeah, let me know. So I've just bumped into a friend of mine, and along with the run that I've just done, I think that is probably exactly what I needed today, because she reminded me not to be so damn hard on myself. Yeah, it's been a difficult week, but I've got through it, and I've got out. I have done fitness orientated things. I've been out for runs, I've been on the treadmill, and yet I felt that this week was a bit of a flop. But it's not. I've had challenges put in front of me and I've overcome them. So yeah, I just wanted to check in, because I think sometimes we're our own worst enemy, aren't we? And we would never talk to someone else the way we talk to ourselves internally. So it's a good thing to check in on your friends sometimes and just give them a pat on the back, because often it's really bloody hard to give it to yourself, isn't it? But yeah, I really appreciate that chat that we've just had. It's really put a nice spin into going into the weekend and park run in the morning. Yeah, check in on your friends. I've just realised I didn't give my friend a shout out after all that. So big shout out to Rhiannon. That chat meant more than you'll ever know. Yeah, legend. Well, it's got a bit dark now, so I've got the torch out, but yeah, that's another week of training done. Another video in the bag, and yeah, this one's had its ups and downs this week, but they quite often do, hey? But I get through it, and yeah, we move on to the next one. So I'll see you next week, and remember, check in on your friends. Legends.